Okay, here we are. We've got our PBX demonstration system here. We have two phones, IP phones, SPA 303s, which is what we deploy to customers. We have the power cords, the network cables, and then the backrest for the phones. The phones come assembled in the demonstration unit, but in the boxes you have to assemble the wires and stuff. So, first thing you want to do the demonstration is you want to actually get the PBX out and get the PBX up and going. This is a unit that just stands by itself, so you want to get the micro PBX unit out. You want to get the card, the memory card, which actually has the demonstration software on it. And how you place this is you place it upside down, label down into the slot, like so. Okay. And then you want to get the power cord for the micro PBX unit, and then the power adapter. You plug this in, and then you plug in the power. You can see the end here, and you can see how the outlet here. So you want to make sure you get that in. It's just like a normal cell phone power plug. You can plug that in, and then you want to plug in the power and get the PBX started. Okay, get that going. Then you want to pull out the phone and put with the Cisco label up. You want to put the bottom brackets in, and see how that. I'll do that again. Put the bottom prongs in, and it should click right in, nice and easy. You can get out phone number 2, and do the same with this one, like such. Okay. Oops. And then you want to get out the 2 power adapters for the phones, the network cables. How we want to connect the network cables is we first want to take the network cable for phone number 1. We'll call phone number 1 will be 101. Phone number 2 will be 102. And you can see by the labels on the phones. So the first one we want to do is we want to give it an internet source. So the first one we connect to the SW port. Okay. And I'm going to plug this into the PBX. The PBX itself is going to simulate the internet. Now the internet source, this can be a wall outlet, a network wall outlet. This can be a port on a router to the customer. It could be a drop, just a network cable drop that has access to the internet or connects to the internet. So you want to plug this into the internet source. And for demonstration purposes, we are going to use the second network cable is going to plug into the PC port on phone number 1. So we'll plug the network cable into the PC port on phone number 1, because this is acting as a network switch for demonstration. And then we're going to plug the internet source into the SW port on phone number 2. And that will also give this phone or a PC access to the internet. Okay? Now, after we have all the cables plugged in, we need to power up the phones. So we'll do that by using power adapter 1 for phone number 1. Now we'll get phone number 1 up and going. Okay. And then we're going to get phone number 2 up and going. Now when you do this, you will probably most likely have a power strip or a surge strip, so you'll have longer cords to be able to demonstrate. We're going to plug phone number 2 in. Now since this is standalone, this is actually acting as our VoIP server would. So these phones are plugging into a mini version of what our VoIP server is. So we'll wait for the phones to come up. It takes Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate some of the basic functions of the phones. I'm going to call extension 102, or demo phone 2. Dial the number, or the extension number, and you can either press the dial soft key or the pound. Okay, now you can pick that up and answer and have the conversation between the two phones. Hello. And they talk, and when they're done, they hang up. And that's how you dial. To check voicemail, you would simply press the envelope, the mailbox button.
Password.
And for this demonstration purposes, the password is the extension.
You have no messages.
And of course, I don't have any messages.
Folders. Press 3 for advanced options. Press 0 for mailbox options. Press star for help or pound to exit.
And then you would just follow the menus to what you wanted to achieve. Another thing that comes with a VoIP service is if you dial you can put another caller on hold by simply pressing the hand button. And hold music comes free as part of our service. These phones also have functionality as far as a headset. You can plug a headset into the side. You've also got your speaker and a mute button. So when you're talking to somebody you don't want them to hear your conversation, you can press the mute button. On the phone itself, we have on the VoIP services, this is a demonstration, so these are not available on the VoIP service. What we have is a call forward on button and a call forward off button, which is actually a delayed call forward. A call forward, no answer. We do have the redial and directory available on the VoIP phones. They can press the directory. They could put in a new speed dial for themselves or search the current one, and that information is stored in the phone. I won't go too in depth with that. If they want to learn more, it's clearly in the manual. Other than that, you can see call history, and you can flip through lines. I want to do a demonstration quick. I'm going to call 102. Okay, 102 is going to answer the phone. Hello. Now, if they needed to call somebody else, they could press another line button, and that automatically puts this caller on hold, and now they can dial another number here. Just to be funny, I'm going to dial 101 because I have the other phone. I'm going to call him back on the other line. Now you can see this line button start blinking, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that line. Hello? Hello? So okay, so now we've got calls flipped back and forth, but you get the idea. Now if I wanted to conference them, I would simply press the conference button, and that actually conferenced the calls. So now we've got 3 callers in a call session. And I know that was really confusing, and that's just because we have 2 phones. Only have 2 phones here. So I got to go back to this conversation and that. So once a customer uses the phone for a period of time, they'll become very familiar and see just how simple it is to use these phones. Well, and that completes the basics of setting up and demonstrating the phones. Okay, now after the demonstration, obviously the customer wants to get rid of you, so no, I'm kidding. But after demonstration, you're going to want to go ahead and pack everything back up. And for all intents and purposes, you don't have to bother with the cable ties. We can do that later. but you want to complete the sale. So complete the sale and then tear down the demonstration model. But when you actually tear it down, it doesn't really matter what order you tear everything down in. What I would suggest is that you simply unplug everything. Just get all the plugs off, and then just unclip the cables. Now, the important thing actually would be to protect this card. This card is delicate. It's got the main software, so we really want to protect this card. Don't forget this card. I do have backups of this in case it does get lost or damaged, but we want to protect it as much as possible. And getting it back in the case is challenging. There we go. Put it in right, and then just make sure that we have the actual software. And I'm going to go ahead and slide that back in here. And now, as far as the PBX, the micro PBX, really doesn't matter which way you put it in. Just slide it in this slot here, just so that it's in the holder. To break down the phones, you want to just unplug the power cord, unplug the network cables, and then just to get this off, you do exactly the reverse. Push down on the top and just push out, and everything's off. Throw it back in the case here. And same for the other phone. Just unplug the power, the network cable, and push down on the top, and that comes right off. And put this one in the case. Now the network cables, I wouldn't worry so much about the twisties. You're going to concentrate more on speaking with the customer and completing the sale before packing up the PBX. But by the time the sale is completed, they're going to want to move on. They don't really want the awkwardness of you hanging around, so you're going to want to get out. Now, after you have those packed up, you can take the power cords, the actual USB cable itself. Again, don't worry about twist ties or anything like that, because we're going to be using it again soon, hopefully. Put the power cord back in there, the USB cable back in here. The power cords themselves, you can just wrap, shove near the phone. The phone again. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we protect the faces of the phone, the screens, the face, so they don't get scratched up, so they look nice when we demonstrate them to customers. And then put the padding with the notch side to the back, and you'll see that the actual PBX the micro PBX actually fits in that slot. Close it, latch it, and you are good to go and on your way.